Hi, Crystal Balls. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video today. If this is your first time here, welcome. Please think about sticking around, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. For everybody else, thank you so much for being on this journey with me, especially my Patreons. Guys, I know I've been a little bit more absent than lately, and part of the reason I'm not on camera is I'm still not feeling well. Um, Going to work, going to school, doing everything that I'm doing, it's taken a toll on my body. So I'm giving myself permission to have a break. So, thank you for being there with me as I kind of struggle bus through this. I really, really appreciate it. Again, support your YouTubers, your mom and pop places, your small people. Trust me, a few seconds out of your day honestly means the world. So today we're going to talk about Lynn Spears. I just want to put a trigger warning out there. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to find. I have a good idea of what we're going to find, but there could be a lot of very sore subjects, trauma, childhood stuff. I believe she is a victim in this circumstance to an extent. I don't want everybody coming for me. But this girl, this child was a product of an environment and lived in a shadow that most people can't compare to. Most of us cannot compare having a globally famous sibling and live in their shadow. And while it doesn't excuse anything, it will mess you up. Again, she's an adult, but she also has had some serious things happen to her. And I do believe that she is a victim of several different things. So, using the Haunted House Tarot card deck again, people really liked that. So, we're going to get started here. I just grabbed 3 cards. We'll start with those and we will just keep going. So the first card, honestly, this really tells me what I suspected. Jamie Lynn was ushered into this life. I want to make it even more clear when I say she was groomed to be in this life. Not just herself, but so was Brittany. I believe they have a brother too, but I think he works very much in the background of this type of world. But the girls were very much groomed from a young age to be stars, to use what they had in order for fame. And I mean that. These girls were basically, they really were groomed. Even though Jamie Lynn was the younger sister of Britney Spears, she was groomed to be the all-American girl, the all-American kid sister. Very much, the cute sidekick type thing. It didn't matter that her sister was globally successful. She was going to be required to cash in on that fame and ride on her coattails, which is exactly what she did, but she was groomed to do this. This is not a decision that a child would make on their own. She was really put at a disadvantage already with her household, her dad being an alcoholic, her mom being, very controlling and having their issues. She was very much a victim in every way you could possibly think, because she was associated with, what is it, Nickelodeon or Disney? It doesn't matter. They're both notorious for the horrible things that they do to children, and Jamie Lynn was no exception. This is a picture of her. This is sad. This is very, very sad. I don't know if you've ever heard of the term being in waist deep or being in knee deep, but this is what she was. This is a moment of pure desperation. Now this could be the pure desperation from when she almost lost her child, her oldest child. Um, and I'm not going to negate that at all. That is valid and completely traumatic. And I don't know what I would have done in that situation. And that is going to cause her trauma for the rest of her life, which again makes sense. But this is her already realizing that she's being sucked in by these dark waters, but there is a part of her that gave into it because that's all she knew. That's what she was groomed to do. That was her life. She was meant to play a very specific role, and she did. And even though she fought against it, sort of, it was also something that she really embraced. This is kind of her just embracing the darkness and allowing it all to happen. So, very, very sad, very difficult, but it's what happened. Jamie Lynn is very haunted by her life, her past, everything. She honestly believes that people stabbed her in the back, stabbed her in the front, um, believes that everybody is an enemy. And she also has a very, trauma bond to every member of her family. And their relationship with her parents and her sister and her, I believe they have a brother, are very strained. Everybody wants something from her, she believes. Everybody compares her to Britney, she believes. Now some of that is absolutely true. But it's not true all of the time. But she is very haunted by it and she's angry. She is lashing out and she will take people out no matter if her anger is what you consider misplaced or not. She is ready to go. Ugh. That again reminds me. I really think this is directly to do with her daughter. Um, but honestly, no, it's not. Ah, shit. So this represents Mama Spears and Jamie Lynn Spears. And she's holding her in the darkness in the grave with literal zombies all around. And while it looks like she's protecting her daughter, the mom does not have a defensive stance. She is not afraid. She is actually looking kind of at, cross-eyed at them or whatever. But as you can see, the little girl looks very sick. Mother allowed all of these very sick people to drain her daughter's energy, to dilute her childhood innocence, and to do things at the cost of her child in order for the betterment of her family, in her view. This child was used over and over and over again. And her mother, I don't know how to say this. Her mother would have allowed it to go farther if she didn't think she was going to get caught. This is very much a seductress. But also there's something in that drink. Everything about this famous lifestyle is seducing. It's fame, it's fortune, everybody knows your name. You are in this world, and there's two women here who are in this world, but definitely are not on the same page. And it's basically like, oh, little sister's drinking the poison and I'm pouring the bottle. No, not quite. This is more. Damn it, what they did to this child. This makes me so angry. Um, so many people took advantage of her. And some of that had to do, unfortunately, with Brittany. I don't think Brittany knows or understands that her sister had been used in order to further things for Brittany. However, Jamie Lynn knows that this was something done to her in order for the betterment of her sister, and she believes her sister is poison. She hates her sister. She hates her and she loves her. But she has a lot of hate and a lot of contempt for her, and she literally blames her for the worst moments in her life outside of the accident with her child. Everything. Everything she blames her sister because she believes her sister is the one poisoning her when it is so many other people. So many other people that she was not protected. They were taking and taking and taking from her, and this was allowed to happen. She wanted to walk away from it all, but didn't know how. I feel like she did kind of turn her back for a little bit of time, but now it's too seductive. It's so, you know, it's money. It's, bad press is still press. It's just one of those things that has to feel like a drug for some of these people because it's a high of people knowing who you are, you working and, you know, all this stuff, having money, be able to go on vacations, be able to do this, that, and the other. It is seductive. She walked away, but she didn't stay away for very long after everything that had been done to her. And this is very much like victims of trafficking that have been abused and abused and abused over and over and over again. Guys, most of the victims of trafficking come back because that's the world they know. This is the world. This is the world that she knew because she was born into it. She was bred. She was groomed. And she was going to come back. They wouldn't have let her away for long. They definitely wouldn't. They would have gotten her back in the fold if she had stayed away for too long. This is childhood innocence behind her. I want you guys realize this is very nefarious. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Please remember this reading is allegedly for entertainment purposes only. The father of Jamie Lynn Spears' child is a full-grown adult male. Not whoever they said it was. And I mean the one that she got pregnant with when she was a teenager. I feel like that was going to happen no matter what. But the problem was she got pregnant, and by Jamie Lynn's own words, and again, I don't know if you can trust the source because she lies so much. There was a recent interview that she did, and you can tell how much she lies. But they wanted her to take care of it, the baby. They wanted her to just get rid of it. I'm supporting whatever choice you have in life. But this is like old Hollywood, where they did not want to give the person a choice. They wanted for her to get rid of it. and she said this, and I honestly, I kind of believe her. There was two parts of that interview that I believed, when she had real sincerity about her children, um, and when she was talking about this, because she wanted her baby, and that is 100% her right and her choice. So we're not debating that in this comment section or anything like that. This is what happened to her. And she exercised her choice to be able to have this child, but that is not what anybody wanted her to do. She went against the grain. She really, really went against the grain. She created a monster with this. Um, there I want to say something very big was exposed, but also kept quiet. Like, this is very much like, this is a shocking thing, a child being pregnant at 16. No, it's not shocking, but it is when you're the little sister of Britney Spears, but at the same time, is it really that shocking? No. But it kind of was in the media's eye, and then plenty of people wanted to go after her. This put light on something that people wanted to keep quiet. And I'm not talking about the pregnancy, I'm talking about who got her pregnant. And again, full grown male, very, very much, I'd say 15, 20 years older than her, maybe more. But yeah, it was not, it was somebody that worked on the show. Um, and somebody who was in a great position of power that could squash her. Um, so there was a story invented, very much an invented story. Um, yeah, they, God, this is a harder reading than I expected it to be. They really, it's like they continued to revive her. They kept taking her energy, kept taking her energy, kept taking her energy. They revive her and then take it again. So, a lot of these weird ups and downs that you see with her in the media is her actually, her energy is being harnessed by other people, good and bad. But especially, I mean, she's very, very negative overall. In my impression, my opinion, everything that I have seen on her, growing up, and I do not feel that she is a positive person. I feel like she's got a very negative outlook, a very angry outlook. I don't think she, mm, I don't think she understands what it's like to actually struggle, and is very immature. But again, this is a product of her upbringing, her grooming, the people in her life that did this to her. But they manipulate her energy and poke the bear to continue to get this energy from her. She has a right to be a very angry person. She's tried many times to rebel against all of this, and at one point she gave in. And I've seen it a couple of times in here, but she did give it again. This is, a child returning to the trauma that she knows. Jamie Lynn Spears never grew up. She has the mentality of a child, which tells me that there was very direct trauma that happened to her at a significant point of her life that was repeated. And she she thought she was fighting back by giving in to the evil and trying to be worse than them. That was her plan, was to be the biggest, the baddest, the one that called the shots. And she did start to groom her own children. And she wanted her daughter to be in the reboot of Zoe 101, and I believe that's never happening. And now she all of a sudden is covering her girl's face up on social media, which I think is incredibly inappropriate. You shouldn't have your children blasted all over social media, in my opinion, because of today's world. But you also want to take into consideration that she was ready to have her child star in a television show about the same time that she did with her. And um now she's all of a sudden protecting them. I don't know. It's odd, but I hope that she put a stop to that cycle so her child would not have to go through this and not be a part of this world, because she should not be. So I'm just gonna pull a couple more cards and then I'm gonna go because this is hard. She believes she's self-sacrificed. That's the story that was fed to her. She was sacrificing herself for her family, for her sister, for everybody. Like, she was the scapegoat. She was the one that was the embarrassment, and that was her role. Even though she fought against it and she didn't like it, that was her role. But she believed she was the scapegoat for everybody. I don't know what her home life was, if her dad used her as a scapegoat for drinking or for being sober for a few minutes. I don't know. But alcohol is definitely a huge problem. I honestly, okay, this is terrible to say, but I think Jamie is an alcoholic because she really has a lot of drinking, even though she may publicly deny it. I feel like she's a closet alcoholic type thing because she's falling into the same traps that she was um, trying to avoid. But at the same time, again, she was groomed for all this hell. What do you do when you have been used over and over and over again? And what do you do to dull your senses when you have horrible things happen to you? You turn to alcohol, you turn to drugs, and that makes it easier for you to stay in this world and do the things that you know are horrible and go back to it because you're addicted, or this is the only life that you know, or it's too hard to get sober and walk away. This happens all the time. So while most of us are looking at Jamie Lynn and want to smack her across her smirky little face, because yeah, I get that too, she's also a victim in this situation. She has really bad anger issues. She has a lot of situations that she needs to work out with her family. If not her family, that's fine. With herself, she needs to get help. She needs to get treatment. She needs to get out of the spotlight, because it is all she is a pawn. She's a pawn in somebody else's game. And sometimes she really believes that she is the one that is in control. She is the biggest, baddest bitch in the room. And she knows better than anybody else. And she will play their game and burn them too. But what she doesn't realize is she's about 20 steps behind everybody. She, unfortunately, stopped maturing at a young age, and she does not have a lot of common sense. And that happens when you have a life like this. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to her, but her intelligence is lower than an average person of her peer group. And I don't think she understands, or maybe doesn't care to, how bad this situation actually is. Because she can't look at her sister and know that being part of a conservatorship that she agreed to and was a part of, that she was saying her sister didn't know what day it was, who the president was. She couldn't cross the street. She couldn't, I mean, it's very much things like that. She couldn't talk on the phone without help. She was trying to play her own game in that situation. And she lost. And Brittany lost. All lost. And this is unfortunate. I don't think we have seen the end of Jamie Lynn Spears by any stretch. I believe she's going to have another huge scandal coming up. And it's going to be so much more than between siblings. I think she's going to name the father of her baby, her oldest. All right, guys. This is a long video, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. So please leave me your thoughts in the comments below. Be kind. Remember, everything is allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Y'all have a great day or night wherever you are in this world. And remember that every single day is a gift. Use your time wisely. Bye for now.